Hello, welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your co-hostess with Mommy Issues Moses, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome back, Josh.
Thank you very much.
Salem and the Salem Horror Fest.
Yes.
How was it? Talk.
It was so good. First of all, I could live in New England in a California minute because it is so beautiful there. I have this obsession that I've been wanting to write about for a long time about one day I was driving around, and I love LA. This is not a knock on LA, but I was driving around and I was like, how did the world get so ugly? And then I started researching it, and actually there are reasons having to do with architecture and all sorts of reasons that the world got ugly. And it kind of happened in the middle of the 20th century for various reasons is when it really cemented. So anyway, this is all just to say that like New England is so beautiful because everything is like 200 or 300 years old. So there's no like disgusting strip malls in these towns or anything like that. It's just like Salem, Massachusetts, and the surrounding towns like Marblehead and Beverly are just so gorgeous and so cottagecore, and I could like move there tomorrow. But the festival was super fun. It's run by former guest Kay Lynch, Video Coven on Twitter, who's so lovely and kind. And she is the executive director of this little independent multiplex in Salem called Cinema Salem. That's so cool. They do such good programming. And it was just a blast. I saw a ton of stuff. I met a lot of cool people. I met Linnea Quigley, horror icon. I met Chaz Bono. I met my idol, Kayla Janice. And I was super weird to her because I was like, I'm such a big fan. I love everything that you do. And she was working the Severin Blu-ray table because they were one of the co-sponsors of the festival. And I could tell that she just like really wanted to get out of there. There were a lot of cool screenings. There was a midnight screening of Demons. There was a midnight screening of The Fog. Severin did a bunch of screenings. That was one of my highlights was Kayla Janice introduced a screening of this Czech movie from the 70s called Morgiana, which I loved. It was so cool. They've just done the restoration of it, so it's on Blu-ray or is coming to Blu-ray. This was the cinema premiere of it in the United States, and it's rad. It has this actress. It's sort of like a fairy tale, and it has this actress playing two sisters. She plays both of them. One is evil and has brown hair. One is sweet and kind and has blonde hair. The evil one wears black. The nice one wears white. And the evil one is basically, slowly poisoning the sweet, innocent one. But she plays both of them, and it's all about beauty and jealousy in sort of an elemental fairy tale way. And it's a period piece, so it's all in literal, like, castles and castle gardens, and just absolutely beautiful and campy. I mean, just giant John Waters level wigs, like crazy makeup. And there's like a witch's cat in it. The movie's actually named after the cat, Morgiana, and neither of the sisters are named Morgiana. It's super good. It's really beautiful in the way that like a Mario Bava movie is beautiful, but it also has this like really campy. It's like if John Waters adapted Jane Austen, it would look like this. Like just giant wigs, crazy makeup, but all like period gowns and stuff. It's really cool.
I cannot wait.
So that's on Severin. Yeah, it's called Morgiana, and it's coming out from Severin, and I just really loved it. But I saw a ton of cool shorts. My short was first in its lineup, and it went really well, I thought, and I just loved it there. I really loved it.
Don't leave Los Angeles, please. No.
I can't go anywhere. I mean, look, there's a writer's strike starting in about 20 minutes, I think.
I know.
So I've got to pick it at least. How are you? What have you been doing? Have you seen anything cool?
I've been really good. And, like, weirdly enough, for the theme of this episode, my mother was just visiting for a week.
Ooh. I know that you love your mom and she's cool, so I assume that was fun.
I do. My mother is not played by Patti LuPone, but she has the same name. Yeah, my mom was visiting from Indiana. She spent a week here. We had a great time. We went to the Academy Museum. She'd never been for the first time.
I haven't been there yet either. I hear really mixed things about it.
I enjoy it.
Okay.
The first time I went, I got like really emotional in a few sections and got really, really like overwhelmed. I fucking loved it. The funny thing though is that so I went with my partner and my mother, and we spent like 3 hours like going through every exhibit, like step by step by step by step, and all had a good time. But it was a mixture of maybe it was the end of when we were there because it was the last exhibit and she was getting a little tired or something. I don't know. The last exhibit is on African American filmmaking from like the turn of the century to like the civil rights movement, and like we all went into that wing and started walking through it, and my partner and I like stopped and watched like clips from Stormy Weather and stuff like that, and my mother just sped walked through the whole exhibit and we're like nope. No, that's not the one to walk through, please no.
What, are you calling your mom a racist right now on our show?
I'm not. I'm just saying she could have looked at the Melvin Van Peebles stuff a little bit more closely.
Listen, Patty was tired. She'd been traveling.
She just wanted her glass of wine at the Academy Bar.
Who
That's
could
all
blame
she
her?
wanted.
She was looking forward to Musso and Frank's or whatever.
But she had a great time in town. It was so nice. I only get to see her like once a year or something like that, so it was nice for her to come out. We didn't really watch anything while she was in town. We were like in the moment or whatever people would say. So like I went a whole week without watching movies. However, before she came in town, I went to the Cineplex. I went to the AMC at the People's Americana.
Taking it back from Rick Caruso, have we?
He lost the election. It is now the People's Americana.
The People's Americana. Okay.
To go see Evil Dead Rise.
Yes! I saw it too. I was hoping you had seen it. The other mommy movie of the moment.
The other mommy movie!
Mommies are having a big moment in horror.
It's a big moment for mommies.
Barbarian, Evil Dead Rise.
I made an entire list on Letterboxd after seeing Evil Dead Rise and Beau's Afraid like back to back of scary mommy movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very, very proud of it. It also includes Deep Red, Brazil, Notorious, Carrie, Drop Dead Fred, Wild at Heart. You know,
Psycho should be on there for sure.
Psycho is on there. Yeah, I love a scary mommy movie. Arsenic and Old Lace is technically on there.
Yeah?
Yeah. But speaking of scary mom movies, Evil Dead Rise was so goddamn fucking fun.
I loved it.
I had a fucking hoot. And I was really worried. So I didn't see the 2013 Evil Dead until a few days before. My partner is a huge Evil Dead fan, and has been on me to watch the 2013 one with her for a while. And we finally did in anticipation of this new one. And I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. Yeah. I thought it's, it's gory and it does the gore.
It's not that much fun is the thing about it. It's too serious.
Not that much fun. And I understand why you would want to go away from like Army of Darkness.
I don't. Army of Darkness is way better than 2013 Evil Dead.
I agree. I'm just saying from contrast. To set yourself apart, I understand why a filmmaker would do that. Now, 10 years later, Lee Cronin, the writer and director of Evil Dead Rise, was like, we can have some fun again. But I was really worried because as soon as we met all of our central characters, we have a like runaway guitar tech who may be pregnant and is coming to see her sister in Los Angeles, her awesome tattoo artist sister who's recently been left by her husband to raise her 3 kids, 2 daughters, and a trans boy who are like a teenager who wants to be a DJ. And their big gothic DTLA apartment. I was like, oh no, I like all of these characters.
I know, I felt the same way.
This is gonna suck.
I was like, finally, I get to see my family on screen, which is like cool and poor. Which is like, never happens.
Goth,
queer. Yeah.
Like, I loved all of these characters, and so when I was like, oh no, oh shit, this is Evil Dead, we're about to get fucked.
My family is all like really poor, cool rockers, and so I was finally like, yay, here's my family in a movie. Um, no one felt, I will say, I don't know why Hollywood thinks that Americans can't act, because these people felt so aggressively Australian despite doing American accents. And I Googled it after. I was like, yep, they're all Australian and British, which is fine. It's just like they're not great at American accents. I feel like it's something we don't talk about. We're always talking about how Americans can't do British accents or Australian accents, but we never talk about the reverse, which is true. Like some of these American dialects were bad. That said,
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, they were coming in, but like Sam Raimi now makes all of his stuff out in Australia and
Yeah.
produces all of the new Evil Dead stuff. All of Asher's Evil Dead was filmed there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if he lives there now or something like that, but good for him. The casting was incredible. I don't care about dialects. Elisa Sutherland, who
Amazing.
plays the mother.
Yeah. She's having the time of her life in this movie.
She's having so much fun. So, spoiler alert, if you've seen unless you've seen the fucking poster for the movie, the mother is the primary Deadite who gets hit first, and she is so incredible. There's an entire sequence that is filmed through the apartment's peephole into the hallway of just like carnage happening, and then her trying to lure people out.
So delightful.
And she gives a performance on the other side of the peephole, pantomiming her husband coming home and being like, we're a whole family again. And her just like waving off screen to nothing is so stupid funny. Oh my God, there's a bit with a fucking tattoo needle that's incredible. Obviously, everyone's been talking about the cheese grater. Which I will say, I didn't know anything about this movie other than like the setup, and that everyone was talking about the cheese grater scene after it played some festivals, and I thought, I was like, we're gonna get a cheese grater scene, or it was gonna be something like that, and then I, like, in my mind, built out what the cheese grater scene was gonna be used for, which was a whole lot more gnarly than what actually happened. What actually happened is like, oh, okay. Like, it's bad, it's gross. It, like, someone gets a cheese grater put on the back of their, like, calf and, like, yanked down. And, like, it's very cabin fever.
Yeah, very.
I thought, because, you know, these movies, the Deadites are always, like, self-mutilating the, like, human body they're inhabiting.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be something like that. Like, in the 2013 one, I think she, like, runs her tongue, like, through a knife, slices the tongue in half.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be one of the Deadites using a cheese grater, grating back and forth on their crotch. So, you know what? It wasn't that gross.
Yeah.
So I felt disappointed.
It's a very gross movie, though, generally, in the most delightful way. I mean, it's such a fun movie. I loved it.
It does such a good job with your expectations, too, because it is having fun scaring you, and it is letting you in on the fun. At the beginning of the movie, the kids are sent out to go get pizza, and they come back, and, like, they come and park the garage, and it's set up that, like, the garage door sticks sometimes,
Yeah.
and, there's a, like, wood chipper in the garage from some maintenance people. Hope that doesn't come back into play later in the movie.
The elevator's unreliable in this rundown apartment building. I love the production design. I loved the apartment building. It made me think how much I love urban horror movies and how few of them there are, actually. You know, like Candyman or Poltergeist 3 even, or
Demons 2.
Demons 2. Yeah, it's pretty rare.
I love the production design. Both the production design and the style of Elisa Sutherland's Deadite makeup both made me think so much of Mario Bava's Strip of Water segment from Black Sabbath. Just off the fucking chains, and the lighting and the makeup and the production design and the costume design, and like just buckets of blood. He really said Stanley Kubrick hold my beer with this one.
I loved it.
I fucking adored it. It is my favorite Evil Dead movie since Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2. Like, it is so fucking good. I've seen interviews with Raimi and Bruce Campbell saying that they want to make more, like, every few years.
That's fun.
Just, like, drop in and out of this universe and, like, slowly type them together. And you know what? I am okay with an EDU.
I am too. I liked too that they finally said that there are 3 known copies of the Necronomicon, so it sets up this universe where there are like different copies of the books out there. So it really opens it up to like what's possible. And somebody I saw on Twitter was like, I mean, I would love to see like an Evil Dead period piece where someone in the Old West finds it, or like imagine the possibilities. It's sort of endless.
To even like drive that point home even more in this movie, there's a bit so the Deadites are raised from playing vinyl records, which is incredible. I love that they allow a trans teen boy to be as dumb as cis teen boys. That is representation.
I did not know that kid was trans until like yesterday, and I saw the movie 2 weeks ago.
He's incredible.
He's really good, yeah.
His performance is fucking great.
The best hair.
But in one of the records, there's a point where it's like a priest speaking that he's going to read an incantation of this book and all this stuff. And there's a lot of cries from a crowd being like, are you fucking an idiot? Don't do this. And one of them is someone screaming, it's called the Book of the Dead for a reason, don't do it. And that's Bruce Campbell.
Oh, that's so fun.
And so that's either just like a throwaway Easter egg of, we got Bruce to say this line, or it's like, that could be Ash.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been to the past before.
I love that idea. I saw a tweet that was really good. Or no, it was a Letterboxd review that said, just never hand a gothic kid the auxiliary cord. He will put on Necronomicon Book of the Dead.
Yes. Don't let goth trans teens have the aux cord. They're going to fuck you up.
Yeah. So good.
Speaking of scary mommies.
Yeah, shall we?
Let's shall.
This is a movie that is brand new. You can run to the theater right now and see it. It is 2023's, directed by Ari Aster. Beau is Afraid.
I am so sorry for what your daddy passed down to you. But I wanted a child. The greatest gift of my life.
I'm visiting my mother tomorrow.
Hi, Carrot. It's Mom. I'm just calling to say that I'm so excited to see you tomorrow. You're my angel, and I love you. Okay. I love you. Okay, bye, sweetie. I love you.
So we are now an Ari Aster completionist podcast. We've done all 3 of his movies. He's the only director whose oeuvre we've completed. We will be doing spoilers, I assume, for this, since it's so new. It's hard kind of to talk about without doing that. Not that could ever spoil this movie, because it is truly so wild and goes so many places that I think it's kind of hard to spoil. But if you're sensitive to that sort of thing, go watch the movie, come back when you're ready. So what are your general thoughts about this movie, Drew?
So on the whole, this is my favorite Ari Aster movie.
Okay.
I was very underwhelmed by Hereditary. I know I wasn't on the Hereditary episode, so you don't get my full thoughts on Hereditary.
Yeah.
However, when it came out and everyone's like, it's the scariest movie ever made, not since The Exorcist. Blah, 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 blah. And even since then, when people are asked what the scariest movie they've ever seen is, they always now answer Hereditary. Mm-hmm. Hereditary was mid at best. I'm fucking sorry. I wasn't even remotely scared by Hereditary.
But
the best part of that whole movie is Toni Collette's performance and like nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
It had no surprises for me. It didn't scare me even a little bit. I don't know. Midsummer I thought was a whole lot better, and it was very much him making an Ingmar Bergman movie with mushrooms, and it's good. It's very good. It's fucking depressing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little too long for me, but I like it, and it's good, and it is fucked up and disturbing and thoughtful. Beau is Afraid is fucking bananas, and it doesn't all work for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't care for the ending a bit, but everything else I thought was fucking super fun and super weird and very affecting, but it really does feel like 3 different movies happening at the same time. In a way that I don't dislike, but also I don't think comes together to be a complete piece of work that is satisfying. But honestly, I love that he swung for the fucking fences. This is, I think, like the biggest budget A24 movie they've ever like produced. Granted, they don't produce all of their films. A lot of them are like pickups and distributions. But I think this costs more than Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It feels like this is closer to who the filmmaker Ari Aster actually wants to be.
Yes.
Because this isn't really a horror movie in a traditional sense. And he's said very, very publicly that he never really wanted to make horror movies. And that was like his entry point into filmmaking, because those are the movies that people would finance and let him make. I will go on record just for posterity and say that I love Hereditary. I think it's handily the best horror movie of the 2010s. One of the best horror movies of the century, and Ari Aster for me is a 3 for 3. I really like all of these movies. I think he's a really exceptional filmmaker. I think Marty Scorsese is right when he says that he's one of the most exciting voices in cinema today. My experience of this movie was that and I've seen a lot of people say this, for the first 40 minutes of this movie, I was thinking to myself, maybe this is my new favorite movie. I loved it so much that I was like, oh my God, this is incredible and so funny and so wild and so relentless and stressful and all of these things at once, so perfectly executed. And then, this movie has kind of an Alice in Wonderland structure where there's like a series of encounters and they're all very different from each other. And I felt that I liked each section a little bit less than the one before it. And at 3 hours, I felt like the movie overstayed its welcome for me.
Big time.
But I did give it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I mean, I do love this movie, but that's just my overall feeling about the movie.
Yeah, the movie really does start with its best foot forward. With the kind of...
The city where he lives is just so fucking incredible.
Yeah. I love that sequence. And that sequence had my favorite scene of the whole movie, and for my money, the scariest thing Ari Aster's ever filmed. It has what I think is scarier than anything in Hereditary and Midsommar combined, which is the bathtub scene.
With the brown recluse spider.
Yes.
I'm very afraid of spiders, too, so all of that stuff really fucked with me.
It's so surreal. It's so insane, but it is so an insane fear. And they ratchet the tension so perfectly. And it builds so beautifully, and it is as equally absurd and funny as it is fucking horrifying, and it sits in it for as long as it can.
So let's just start there. So Beau lives in a city that is like a nightmare hellscape of a place where everything's covered in graffiti. His apartment building is disgusting and frightening. There's literally like a naked stabber on the loose. There's a dead body laying in the street. There's always sirens outside. There's always screaming coming from outside of his window. There's a scene that really upset me because it's like something that I've actually had nightmares about, where some people are laughing and they have their phones out and he's like, what's happening? And they're like, we're trying to get this guy to jump off a building. So they're like trying to get this guy to kill himself and laughing about it and filming it. It's a horrible, terrible place to live. And Beau is on all sorts of psychotropic medicines that his weird doctor is giving him. And he has to leave the building to get a bottle of water in this extended period because he was warned like something bad would happen if he took his pills without water. But he's scared to leave because there's someone outside who's like covered in tattoos that wants to stab him every time he leaves his building. But he leaves a phone book in the door to leave it open. And as he's in the bodega getting a bottle of water, he sees all the weird street people notice that his door is open. And they all one by one go in. It's like zombies getting into a building in Dawn of the Dead or something. And
then they lock the door behind him.
Yeah. So like all of the crazy street people are having a party in his apartment and he has to sleep on the fire escape and just watch them. And so eventually when the apartment is free again, he goes inside. And by the way, there's been a sign from the landlord all over the building that's like, warning, there's a brown recluse spider on the loose. And so his apartment is just destroyed. and they're like dead bodies places, and so it's like really a nightmare. And he gets in a bathtub and he looks above him, and there's a man crooked in the ceiling sweating, and then you see the brown recluse spider walk across the man's forehead, and you don't know what's going to happen, and it's just the most wild and terrifying and stressful, but also funny sequence I've seen in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of throughout this movie. Like it is stressful and horrific, but it's also wildly funny. Like I was laughing hysterically during this movie.
This movie has one of the funniest teenage deaths in a movie.
Oh my god, it's so good.
A teenager essentially commits suicide, and it's played for comedy, and it's actually funny.
It's very funny.
I don't know.
Nathan Lane's very funny in this movie. My
my
guy. Just wearing a tracksuit like a suburban dad. He's like, listen, my dude, listen, my guy. So good.
Yeah, he and Amy Ryan play a husband and wife who are... Nathan Lane is a surgeon. They live in the suburbs. They're outrageously medicated, popping pills constantly. They have a whole, like, shrine in their house to their son who died in the war. And they keep his PTSD-ridden combat brother, living in a trailer in the backyard, who is, like, set off by anything. And their insane daughter as well.
That makes up the second sequence, basically. So they run over Beau in the city in their car, and he wakes up in their house in the suburbs. And so what the rough shape of this movie is that Beau is supposed to go visit his mother, who he talks to on the phone in the city where he lives, but he gets robbed, and all this crazy stuff happens to him, so he can't get there the way he planned to. And then he wakes up in these people's houses, and he has to and then he has to run away from them, and he goes into the woods for a while, and it just goes on and on and on. So basically, he's on a wild journey to try to get to his mother's house.
One of the best encapsulations of what this movie is and is going to be is near the beginning when he calls his mother to be like, I don't know if I can make it. My keys were stolen out of my door and my suitcase. What can I do? How can I get to the plane? What can I do? And she just sits there, breathes through the phone, and just says, I know you'll do the right thing.
Yeah.
And he's just
very
like,
passive aggressive.
But what's the right thing? What? He is just a sweaty, overweight, balding Joaquin Phoenix who can't do anything. And it is so funny.
He has an enlarged ball sack, which we see a lot, which later a doctor diagnoses, and I can't remember the word for it, but it's really disgusting. This movie's pretty gross. It feels in some ways a lot like The Greasy Strangler, like sort of outrageously gross out comedy. Yeah, and then he runs away from that house and he goes into the woods, and there's a theater troupe living there, and he like watches a play.
So that was my favorite sequence.
Okay, here's where we divert paths. Because I was like, I would cut that whole sequence maybe. I think it's kind of off topic, and it's where a lot of the visual flair of the movie is, like a lot of the most beautiful visual flair. But it doesn't help the movie. It's like a break from the movie, and I thought that the visual elements of it were a bit derivative of 2000 filmmakers like Spike Jonze and people like that. And so I feel like there's a version of this where Beau runs from Nathan Lane and Amy Ryan's house into the woods, as he already does. He gets knocked out, wakes up, and then starts hitchhiking and gets right to his mom's house. And you just like lose that whole middle section.
I feel like that's true, but I feel like that sequence, it is kind of a different idea, but it is also says a lot about Beau as a person. So the whole thing is he ends up at this like theater troupe commune in the woods. And there's a lot of this idea of like the audience is a part of the theater and you have to be in costume to watch the thing. And as he watches this play progress, he starts to project upon it, and he starts to put himself in the lead role, and he starts to live out this entire life inside of the narrative of the play. And as it gets near the end, he starts to disassociate and disconnect from it and realize this isn't your life. This
Yeah.
is art. This is media. This isn't you. You're finally having an emotional response to something, but it's not your actual life. It feels like Ari Aster commenting on his own relationship to cinema in a
can see
way that I found very profound and I found very moving. It's also stupid, sumptuous, and gorgeous. It does end up looking a lot like Michel Gondry movies.
Yes.
Right?
That's who I was looking for, Michel Gondry.
But it's because they're both dipping from the same well, which is Carol Zeman movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it does end up looking like that, which is like gorgeous and cool. It doesn't look like anything else in the movie. But that idea and that execution is also not unlike both an Adventure Time and a Star Trek episode that do the same thing. Which kind of brings me to the thing that bummed me the most about this movie and why I love it even more. There's a lot of awesome shit in this movie. There's a lot of awesome sequences and performances and bits and gags and ideas in this movie. Too many of them, though, are cribbed from other movies. Like Whole Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
The end, and it's part of the reason why I really don't like the ending of this movie. But, like, a lot of the nightmarish, like, cityscape, which is giving me, like, flavors of Scorsese, flavors of Bringing Out the Dead and After Hours. That I was
a little bit of, like, Brazil, too, of, like, nightmare future visions kind of stuff.
Which was just, like, a little bit, and cool, fine. And then when we get to the suburbs, they're, like...
Suburbs feel like Todd salons. To me.
A little bit, but then they straight up do a shot-for-shot sequence from Twin Peaks Firewalk with me.
Oh,
with
which
the
sequence?
TV.
Oh, yes. That's
Kyle
right. I was
MacLachlan
like,
looking at the security monitor.
Yeah. I was like,
That
this
is,
feels
like,
very familiar to me.
A straight rip.
Yeah.
The sequence that this movie ends on is literally just defending your life. The Albert Brooks movie.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the and I was like, we're not just doing defending your life now, are we? And they just were, and then that's how the movie ends. And then I was like, he's not, like, actively aping it that hard. And then I saw an interview with Ari Aster, and he was like, yeah, defending your life was a huge influence on this. And I was like, my man, you just stole, like, half of this other movie to be your ending.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. It doesn't really work. It doesn't feel original and creative and inventive. It feels, I don't know. And a lot of the structure of this movie to me is not unlike Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
And that, I'll get into that in a minute when we talk about
but
the meaning of this movie.
Do you think, if you're being charitable, do you think that you could say that Ari Aster is being referential or doing pastiche the way that Quentin Tarantino is doing pastiche from films that he loves from the past, or is that too generous? Do you feel?
I think that's too generous. I don't feel the intention of I'm using this to comment on, because Quentin Tarantino is using pastiche. Again, I'm not a huge fucking Quentin Tarantino fan, so I feel weird defending him in the moment. But he's using, let's say, the casting and the language and the aesthetic of blaxploitation movies when making Jackie Brown to comment on that kind of media and the depiction of women, like African American women of a certain age. He's using the aesthetics of the spaghetti western to comment on the American South post-slavery in Django Unchained, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Ari Aster is just being like, I like this scene, I like this scene, I like this movie, I like this movie, I like this movie, and flow it all together. And it's like, kind of what's bumming me out is because this movie should be, and it kind of is, on one hand, this like quixotic surrealist journey through one man's mind, right?
Yeah.
We are looking at Beau as a person and Beau's world around him. And so, for my money and for my beliefs when it comes to like depicting like surrealist art in film and stuff like that, I'm trying to see how that gives me a deeper understanding of the person, how these are wells of subconscious coming out, and when this both of Beau and of Ari Aster as the filmmaker putting this stuff in, and when your subconscious is just an Albert Brooks movie, it's shallow. to me. I don't know.
Did you see Ari Aster's recent Criterion Closet video?
I did. It's like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, I wasn't very impressed with it, I have to say. I stand Ari Aster and I stand this movie, but I was like, these aren't that great of movies that you picked for me.
I mean, that's true and fair. I do like what he had to say about Closely Lost Trains and its connection to Beau's Afraid.
He did pick Cure as well, which we covered recently, which I liked.
Which is one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
I also liked his Dungeons and Dragons joke. I don't know. I think he's very funny. I think he took a huge fucking swing with this movie, but a lot of that.
I think he's a comedian. I mean, I think as an artist, in his truest soul, he is closer to Todd Solondz than he is Wes Craven or whatever.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's a horror guy.
He's got more Woody Allen in him than Toby Hooper. Like, this
movie, when it's at its best, is very, very funny. I mean, there's a whole sex scene with Parker Posey that is like, mwah, delightful. So she plays somebody from his past. There's all these flashbacks to a cruise that he went on when he was 12 with a little boy playing Beau who looks like AI, but is not. Such a strange looking kid. That's just his face. I know. So what? I'm just saying. Anyway, so he fell in love with this other little 12-year-old girl on a cruise named Elaine, who grown up is played by Parker Posey, and they meet at his mom's house and have sex. And it is the wildest sex scene you've ever seen. And, you know, he puts on a condom and he's never had sex before. He's a virgin. And so he's like, is it on? Is it on right? Have you made sure? And then she gets on top of him and then she's like, wow, you just blew through that bag. When he finishes after like 20 seconds.
That's maybe the most important part of the movie is that Beau was raised by a single mother, played by Zoe Lister-Jones in the past. Mm-hmm. Incredible. Mm-hmm. And Patti LuPone in the present. Also incredible. And she has told him his entire life that his father's dead. That he died at the point of conception.
Yes. Because
he had a heart murmur. And the same way that Beau has a heart murmur.
So Beau can never safely have sex or orgasm.
Yep. Every man in his lineage has died this way. Your grandfather died that way. And his father died that way. And your father died that way. And you will die that way too if you have sex. He spent his entire adult life being afraid of this. And he finally has sex with Parker Posey. And the opposite thing happens.
Yeah. It's truly wild. And it's sort of like, is that why his ball sack is so big? Because he's like never orgasmed? Oh. Like, it's just like disgusting.
Well, speaking of ball sacks that are too big, we need to address the 10-foot elephant in the room.
Yes, very like Possession. There is a monster in the attic that is his father. That is a giant dick monster.
And we mean a giant phallus, a giant non-hard phallus. Like, it's just a limp dick in the attic with little arms and teeth, and it's screeching like a dinosaur. And then it gets furiously stabbed in the ball sack multiple times. Yeah. And this is like the climax. This is like... The whole movie has been alluding to, like, oh, there's a secret up in the attic, and what is it? And someone was, like, put up in the attic, and what's going on? And then he gets shoved up there, and there is a twin Beau who's tied up to a radiator, and, like, emaciated and has been there for 30 years. And then there's a giant dick monster, and then we get Patti LuPone's ADR screaming, "That's your father!" My God.
And then Beau gets on a boat and he goes to a massive trial where Richard Kind is the judge for some reason and he's defending his life. And it just this movie just goes all over the place. What else do we want to say about this? I don't even know what else to say about it other than it's very fun and strange and I liked it.
So the thing that I should say, and that this was my view of the movie, almost the whole movie, and it was really cemented near the end, was that the movie starts with Beau in therapy. And we get a pretty, like, locked down shot structure of like shot of the therapist, shot of Beau, shot of the therapist, shot of Beau. The palette is really bland, really flat. The performances are like Beau hasn't said anything. He's just sitting there. He's very quiet. And the doctor is asking initially very mundane questions. And then he asks Beau, do you ever and he like confirms that Beau is going to see his mother and he has anxieties about going there. And he starts to hint at the like troubled relationship that Beau has with his mother. And then he asks Beau, do you ever imagine your mother's death? Which, like, wild question for a therapist to ask.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. But then he's like, it's okay. This is a safe space. This is what we're here for. Let's to work through these emotions, these feelings around this particular person, so you can like get at why you feel this way, and so you can like understand the world around you. And then there is the movie breaks the 180 rule. The camera like quickly like we cut to a different view. The color timing's entirely different. Beau's finally like verbal. And then that takes and he being like, I would never imagine my mother's death. That's awful. Why would you ever ask me to do that? And then he leaves the office, and then we enter the world, and that's all the hellscape, surrealist insanity of the rest of the movie. My view of this entire movie is that everything after that 180 break is Beau's imagination of being like, well, in what world would I allow myself to view my mother as dead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd buy that. Ari Aster has described this as like a Jewish Lord of the Rings in his own words. Except Beau's just going to visit his mother, you know, and so it's the adventure along the way of that Herculean task of visiting one's mother.
Jesus Christ.
God, by the way, what's up with Ari Aster's mother?
I was going to say.
What if she's just like a totally normal, lovely suburban mom? Like, has she seen these movies? I'm sure she has if she's alive and well, but it's like, geez, what a punch in the gut to be Ari Aster's mom watching this movie.
Well, imagine being Ari Aster's mom and your son makes Hereditary.
I know.
And it both features the I am your mother scene and, you know, spoiler alert, the mother chopping off her own head.
Yeah.
And then being like, okay, that clearly wasn't about me. But sure, fine, you made a spooky little horror movie. Okay, great. And then you go see Midsummer, in which the parents die that way. And you're like, oh, okay. My son made a spooky little horror movie. Okay. And then you go see Beau is Afraid, and you're like, all right.
Yeah. Ari Aster also said he wanted this to feel like a video game where you can't control your character and none of the buttons work, which I feel like is pretty accurate. Yeah, I have to say, gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what this movie is about thematically, other than, of course, like overbearing mothers and some like Oedipus themes, but I'm not sure what the movie has to say about those subjects off the top of my head, other than presenting them.
Yeah. I do know that Ari Aster's mother is a poet.
Uh-huh.
Apparently. But we don't know much more than that. So I would like an interview. I would like a fucking De Palma, Noah Baumbach, like feature film interview. That's just Ari Aster interviewing his mother.
When is Mother's Day? It's in May, isn't it? Is this our Mother's Day episode, I think?
This is our Mother's Day episode.
Unofficially.
Big time. My mom visits Evil Dead Rise, Beau is Afraid.
Yeah.
Beau is Afraid to come. That's the movie.
I don't think Beau is Afraid is a very good title. I prefer the original title, Disappointment Boulevard, although I can understand why A24 is like, we don't want a movie called Disappointment anything.
Especially this movie, which is not doing very well at the box office, to be called Disappointment. Yeah.
These kind of movies don't really ever do very well at the box office.
No, they don't, which is why, like, it's so interesting and impressive that this movie was made, and why, like, I am a Beau is Afraid supporter. I don't love it. it didn't come together for me, but I had so much fun watching it. And if someone at any point was like, let's watch Beau is Afraid, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Great,
Let's pop
yeah.
the corns. Let's have a time.
I will buy the Criterion of this if and when it comes out. I absolutely will spend the $30.
I was kind of thinking about that while watching this movie, being like, would they do that? Speaking of, I just want to take a little break. Considering my profession, I think we need a new segment for the show called Poster Breakdown with Drusilla Adelaide.
I don't like this poster.
Talking about why the posters for Beau is Afraid are fucking ass.
Yeah, I don't like this poster at all.
No offense to the agency.
It's too normcore. It's so normcore.
It's not only is it normcore, fucking not even remotely sells the movie. And also they're so overly like photoshopped and smoothed out images that they don't look real. I think that's part of the reason why everyone thought that kid was AI. It was these stupid bad posters. The first poster is a shot of the younger actor who plays young Beau, and it just giant says Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then down in the corner it says Beau is Afraid. So it sounds like the movie is called Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know. And the palette is like really blue and bland. And then the primary poster is all from the theater sequence.
Yeah.
It's Joaquin Phoenix as Beau, very beat up from getting hit by a car, with his hand on the shoulder of the younger Beau. And then an older Beau with a hat on from the theater sequence from him watching the play, standing behind him. And then an even older Beau with a beard behind him, also only from the theater sequence. Doesn't ever happen. And so what the fuck does that tell you about this movie?
Yeah, the poster that I'm imagining
Nothing.
is like in that blue tone, and it's just like portraits of the characters, so it looks like a poster for like, you know, a very normal movie. And yeah, it's a disappointing poster for me.
I talked to someone recently and was like, oh, we went to go see Beau is Afraid. It was so weird. And like, oh yeah, is that the one where like Joaquin Phoenix like gets weirded out because he starts meeting these other people that look like him? And I was like, no, that's not what the movie's about. They're like, oh, that's what I thought it was. Like,
yeah,
the marketing is bad. They did a really well. Honestly, it's hard to market this kind of movie.
Well, it's also it's an art movie. So like, really, who is this movie for? You know, this is not a movie that was ever going to be a huge hit. Really, I mean, that was very unlikely to happen. And it made me think a lot of The Northman by Robert Eggers, which similarly was like this little indie darling director who was suddenly given $90 million to make an incredibly off-putting movie for nobody except for me. You know, like you and I are the audience for this kind of movie. So I don't know. It's just, I think it's great when studios are willing to give crazy people $90 million to make a crazy thing that no one will see. I'm for it. But from a business perspective, I don't know.
My favorite thing, though, is that when I went to see this movie, I went with my partner and a couple friend of mine who are like some of my best friends. And they are both, this couple, massive Ari Aster fans. Like, they've got the A24 store exclusive box set version of Midsummer. Like, they're big Ari Aster heads. But they also, the two of them, separately have weird relationships with their mothers. And so my partner and I are sitting there watching Beau is Afraid, cackling our asses off, laughing at all this stuff, because we're like, thank God we're not like this. This is so weird and funny. And then I looked over at the other two, and they were both like white as ghosts. Because they're both anxiety-ridden, like, mommy issue people. And we're like, oh. We left the theater being like, that was so fun. And they're like, they saw into my soul.
That's so funny. Well, listen, let's pivot and play Have They Seen It, the game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. This is a weird one because it's in theaters now, but not a lot of people are seeing it, it seems like. So, could be anybody. I have somebody's name who came out of the clear blue sky. Do you think Amy Adams has schlepped to the Grove to see Beau is Afraid? Beloved American actress Amy Adams.
I don't think Amy Adams has seen Beau is Afraid theatrically yet. I think she will see the movie.
On streaming.
Not on streaming.
Oh.
I think in 9 months, an A24 screener will come to her house in award season, and she will put it on, and she will watch it, and she'll not enjoy it, but she'll tell friends, I wish I was in it.
Do you think she'll finish the movie?
I think she'll... much like Beau, I think she'll finish. Do you think so? Do you think Toni Collette has seen this movie?
No. I don't think she'll ever see this movie. I don't
Really?
know. That's my gut. Yeah, I don't think so.
Fucking God.
Although I do know that she loved Hereditary. She's very proud of Hereditary. She loved the script. You know, she's a pretty choosy actor, so she does support and like Ari Aster to some degree. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she would see this.
I don't think she would enjoy it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I hope she does. I hope she sees it.
Yeah. I have a twofer. So my introduction to Richard Kind, who's in this movie, was
fucking God.
a 90s sitcom called Mad About You, which I would watch eating ramen as a little kid. So I want to know, do you think if Helen Hunt or Paul Reiser have seen Beau is Afraid, either one of them?
Super quick. Hunt, yes. Reiser, no.
I think that's true, exactly.
Paul
She's more intellectual than him, I think.
Yes. I think Paul Reiser will never see Beau is Afraid, and I think that's fine. A lot of cast members in Beau is Afraid have made appearances, including Richard Kind, famously as a recurring character, on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Larry David, and I'm also going to open it up to JB Smoove, have seen Beau is Afraid?
Oh my God. It would be so funny to see a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about Larry David going to see an Ari Aster movie opening or whatever. That is such a good idea for a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode, like Larry David going to see an art house movie. I don't think he has seen this. I think he would absolutely hate it if he did. Don't you think?
I feel like he would like it, but I could be wrong. I would rather he hate it. I think that's more interesting.
It's almost like a compliment when Larry David hates something about you.
I just want to see Larry David be like, no. The mother should have been much worse.
Yeah.
She was too nice.
Yeah.
I feel like Larry David's gonna walk out of this movie and be like, Ari Aster's in my house. He's walking around my home right now.
Exactly. That's so funny.
JB Smoove definitely hasn't seen it, but JB Smoove, honestly, I want to see the Curb episode that's the two of them going to see this movie together. And it's like, you just hear the dialogue of the movie as they shoot the crowd, and it's just Larry white-faced looking terrified, like he's like seeing The Exorcist for the first time, and then panning over to JB Smoove like munching on popcorn and laughing his ass off.
I feel like the episode would actually be about the parking garage at the Grove, like on the way to see this movie. Like a mishap happens in the parking lot, which is a treacherous parking lot, and then that person that they have the interaction with is also seeing Beau is Afraid, and so they have to sit next to that person in the theater. I just wrote a spec of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
This reminds me, when I saw Beau is Afraid, this is fucking insane. I saw it, like I said, with a couple friend of mine, and the like dude of that couple is like really great. He's really funny and a weirdo and loves to send memes all the time. And is like a great photographer and stuff. We were so ready for the movie. We like got our like snacks and stuff beforehand. We got there early. The theater was like dead. We went on like a Tuesday night at the AMC in Burbank, one of three. And before the movie, he went to the bathroom and then came out of the bathroom like white as a ghost. And we're like, what was going on? And he was like, I was using like a urinal or whatever, and like these older dudes in their 50s were like washing their hands, and they all were dressed exactly like me, and they were all talking about The Irishman.
Oh my God.
And Joe Rogan's podcast and Lego Bionicles and how much they hate their fathers. And he was just like, I need to change. He walked out of there being like, I'm gonna stop drinking alcohol. I'm gonna start going to the gym. I need to change my life.
That is a nightmare scenario.
And that was before going into Beau was Afraid. He was like, did Ari Aster set this up? Like, he started, like, we were joking that, like, oh my God, who's the guy? Nathan Fielder. That, like, Nathan Fielder had bought out the screening, done research into all of us, and this was season 2 of The Rehearsal.
God, I can't wait for season 2 of The Rehearsal, speaking of,
do you think Nathan Fielder has seen Beau's Afraid yet?
Oh, absolutely. I think he would see this, like, opening weekend. This is exactly in his wheelhouse. This is, like, operating on his frequency for sure.
This feels like it's going to be his number 1 favorite movie of all time.
I mean, I could if you're like, Josh, name somebody who's like a Jewish neurotic type, I would say Nathan Fielder immediately. He'd be like, Nathan Fielder is the ideal audience member for Ari Aster.
Jeez. One final have they seen it? Speaking of iconic comedic Jewish neurotics and Nathan Lane, who of course is a fucking powerhouse himself, starred most famously in The Birdcage, but also on Broadway with Matthew Broderick in The Producers.
Yep.
Do you think Mel Brooks has seen Beau is Afraid?
I think so. He loves horror movies, and he's got kind of offbeat taste. I think he would really love this movie.
I think Mel Brooks would fucking adore Beau is Afraid.
Yeah, he would love this.
Because I know Scorsese loved it, which makes me super happy. I would kill to be in the screening room of Beau is Afraid, hearing Mel Brooks losing his fucking mind.
Yeah. I would love to see, like, Mel Brooks and Danny DeVito watch this, like, Mystery Science Theater style.
Mel Brooks, Danny DeVito, Larry David, John Landis.
Exactly.
The loudest men in the world.
All of whom love this kind of thing.
Yes!
You know? Yeah.
Oh my God. That's more or less the screening that we saw it. I saw it in IMAX, and people either were walking out or laughing or screaming or both.
This movie made me laugh so much. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bloodhouse. If you liked it, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at bloodhousepod. Drusilla, where are you?
My art and myself over at sisterhidedesign.com. Go look at my new After Hours cover. It's really pretty. I think so.
Agreed.
Really quickly, Phil Roberts, the illustrator who illustrated the Champions poster that I did earlier this year, we've been talking a little bit more since then. He also illustrated the poster for Detroit Rock City and a bunch of other iconic movie posters. He hit me up recently and he's like, "Oh, that's so funny. I sketched the original After Hours poster."
Oh my God.
And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway,
amazing. That's amazing.
Wild coincidences in the world.
Yeah.
I'm also on Instagram at HideSister. You can also follow my Twitter account. It just posts my art when new stuff drops. I'm also on Letterboxd. If you look for Sister Hyde and if you look for my name, I'll be there. You can see all the shit that I'm watching, and you can find out why I gave Drop Dead Fred 4 stars and why it made me cry. Josh, where are you?
Well, I deactivated Twitter this weekend, so I'm not there. I can't promise that'll still be true when this episode comes out because I am very addicted to Twitter, but I'm trying to not be there. I really hate it. It makes me feel crazy and sad. So I'm trying to get off of it. So for now, I'm on Instagram at Joshua Conkle, and I'm at Letterboxd at Joshua Conkle. Next week, we are doing a second movie by a director that we absolutely love. It's time to come back to them. What is it?
We're keeping it in the family. We're stepping away from mommies, and now we're talking about siblings. from Canada in 1988, starring Jeremy Irons and Jeremy Irons. David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers.
I absolutely cannot wait. Bye. See you next week.